Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel. I hope y'all can see me. I don't know what's going on with this thing. The sun is out, y'all, and I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting. Anyway, the sun is putting a beautiful strip of light through the camera, and I feel like y'all cannot see, and I know my camera's not dirty, but it looks like it's hazy. Hold that thought. All right, y'all, I cleaned the camera yet again, but it's not the camera is dirty, it's just that it's where I'm sitting outside. And so I'm sitting in the car. I'm doing an errand today, helping out my neighbor, and I'm waiting for her. So I said to myself, let me sit here and do a quick car chronicles, because I want to talk to you guys about perceptions. So that's what today's car chronicles is about. Perceptions. So let's get into it. What do I mean by perception? What I mean is what everyone else out in the world is thinking about what you're doing, how you living, how you walking. And the reason why this came to mind today is because I've had two instances happen over the past couple of days. One of them was a comment that said, government workers are on furlough, paid vacation. I want to state very clearly that there is a misconception about government workers. There is this conception that all the government federal workers make tons of money, and we out here just whooping it up, having a good time. And I want to tell you that we are hardworking, maybe not everybody, but the vast majority of us are hardworking civil servants who take an oath, just like military service members. Many of us are spouses and children of those who have actively served or who are actively serving. We are public servants. We do not make millions of dollars. We don't have bank like that. And to assume or have the perception that we're on paid vacation, I'm gonna tell you right now, we are not getting paid. There is talk that we could be getting back pay, but there's also talk that this furlough, this government shutdown is going to continue, which causes a lot of people some stress and alarm, because many people are out here having children to care for. They don't have any money coming in. A lot of people work from paycheck to paycheck, and their money don't stretch long like that. A lot of people are hard up for a lot in this life. And the perception that so many people seem to have about government workers is so incredibly backwards. I was getting ready to say a cuss word, but so incredibly backwards. We have mortgages, we have children to care for, we may have parents, aging parents, we may have older kids, we may have grandchildren that we're caring for ourselves. We have a lot of balls in the air that we're carrying. And so perception is wild to me. And I also had someone make a comment about the garden and how it's just so much, and how can you afford, and why do you have a garden, and it takes so much time. It just seems like it's just a time suck. Again, perception. If gardening is not your walk through this life, then you're gonna think that It's too much. It's time consuming. It's cost prohibitive. And yes, indeed, if you are just starting out, gardening is not an inexpensive way of life. A lot of people assume it's a hobby, but for many of us who've been gardening for years, it is a way of life. It is how we navigate through the world. It is a part of who we are. We would rather grow as much as we possibly can to feed ourselves, our friends, and our families than to buy it from the store for many reasons. And so I would like to just put out there that, you know, people curb their perceptions of others. I have a neighbor right now that several neighbors have been noticing that this person, and I'm going to use the word because the word is exactly what the word is. This person is extremely nosy. And every time you step out your house, this person is out there in your face asking you what you spending your money on. The plumber was at the house. Oh, you got the plumber over to your house? What's going on in your house? Oh, it looks like you have one of the contractor plumbers that come out when you have a issue with your new house and you're still under contract. And I'm thinking to myself, how you gonna spend somebody else's money? And how about you go back in your house and worry about what's going on over there and not worry about what's going on over here? And I know that might sound a bit aggressive, but here's the thing. I feel like we have entirely too many people minding somebody else's business. And I always was taught growing up that you need to mind your own business because you will live longer and you'll be happier if you do. Stop trying to put your viewpoint off on someone else because that's your view of the world. That's how you walk through this life, not somebody else. And then the last thing was I put a patio down in my backyard. Y'all have seen the transformation in my yard from when I first moved in to what it is currently. And so I gave another neighbor my concrete contractor's phone number. And so they contacted the contractor and they were able to put down a little extra patio in their backyard as well. And the nosy neighbor has been out there going on this person's property without permission. And I was coming in my house because I'm that kind of neighbor. I look at all the things that's going on in front of my house. I'm paying attention to who's driving up in front of my house, who's going down the street, because I want to make sure that I'm safe. And I didn't feel safe with what was going on. Hang on a minute, y'all.
Make a bit of a pit stop. But what I was saying is that as I was entering into my house, I saw this neighbor coming out of another neighbor's backyard without permission. Sorry that y'all, it's real busy up in here. But I saw them coming out of the neighbor's backyard, and I texted the neighbor and said, hey, did you know that you had another neighbor in your backyard just going around looking at your new patio? They came out with their whole family. And she says, no, I didn't know anybody was in my backyard. I said, well, you need to talk to them and let them know that if they're going to enter in onto your property, they need to speak to you first. Y'all, I've been moving and shaking today. I'm at another location. So what I was saying was that I texted my neighbor and I was like, do you know you got strangers in your backyard? The neighbor's in your backyard. Child, y'all, the neighbor had gone over there, was showing his family her new patio. Perceptions. And then he said, you must have a lot of money. You must be rich. I'm thinking to myself, wow. So yeah, perceptions can really make you shake your head, y'all. Can make you shake your head. So I didn't have much to say today. I'm just running some errands, taking care of some business, not in the garden. I've been out and about. So hang on, y'all.
Okay, everybody. I was so rudely interrupted and I do apologize. But I want to say thank you so much for joining me in the car today. I know this probably seems random, but I'm sure that plenty of you also run into people and their perceptions of how things should be in your life. And I find that to be a bit much, because if gardening is not your passion, then you are going to see it as a bit much. And if you are inserting yourself in someone else's life, like the neighbor, which I find to be quite disturbing, to have someone just beepity bopping around in your backyard trying to figure out, why you have the concrete layer at your house, or why you cleaning your garage out, or why you have the plumber at your house. I just find all that insertion quite disturbing, and it seems like that's what's happening a lot around our communities. People are just, they have perceptions of, like I said, of what's going on in and around you, and they're inserting themselves in places where they just truly don't need to be. And I think, and this is just my opinion, that if we all did our very best to, number one, get along and mind our business, we would go so much further. There's so much unrest. People are not getting along. They have all these preconceived notions and all this, that, and the other about you, and it's just really a sad state of being, where you can't be kind, you can't do the things that you feel comfortable doing in your yard, because there's always somebody watching. So moral of the story is, there is always someone watching. It's sad, but so true. But I want to thank you all for listening to my rant today. I hope it made sense to somebody. I hope you understand what I mean. I use a few politically correct words because I'm trying not to be too offensive, because not everyone, but many people are so extremely sensitive these days. I'm still running around with my neighbor. I've been jumping in and out of the car, taking her here and there and everywhere, trying to help her out. And we're at the last location before we pick up something to eat. She says to me that she appreciates all that I've been doing for her, and she wanted to buy me something to eat. And I told her, I said, you know what? I don't do the things that I do for you or anyone else to receive things in return. Like I told another friend of mine today, they were asking me, how I was doing with everything going on in the world and how I'm feeling. And I said, I'm doing just fine. I feel a sense of anxiousness and an urgency and frustration, just like so many people, but I'm doing well. And I'm keeping busy. I go out for my walks almost every single day. If I don't go out, I do something around the house. My neighbor and I went out for a good long walk this morning, and then I happened to see that her registration was severely expired. And I told her, I said, well, I know where to go get the registration. Let's go do that, because she didn't have her form. She didn't know where it was. And so that she wasn't stressed out, I'm helping my neighbor. And then, of course, that turned into going to the pharmacy and going to the bank and doing some things that she really needed to do. And since I enjoy her company and I had the time, I went ahead on and did it. So be a blessing to someone. Allow yourself to be blessed. Give yourself and others grace. Enjoy the day you are in for what it is. I hope someone told you that you were loved, that you were cared for, and you would be missed in this world if you were not here. So with all that being said, thank you so much for joining me in today's Car Chronicles. I hope, again, that it resonated with someone, because there's a lot going on, and it's sometimes hard to navigate. So do me a favor, hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not. If you don't like this video, I have a long playlist, many of them. Take a look at my playlist. You might like other items that I put out, other videos that I put out. I have lots of content that I do over here in ClausenWorld. So again, thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now. Be a blessing, not a burden. Mind your business. Bye, y'all.